I have a special guest with us today who is coming to us from San Francisco, California, and her name's Katie Lance. Hello, Katie. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Scott. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. So Katie came to us by way of Stacy Stubbs. She mentioned her name, and Katie started getting a bunch of likes and comments and stuff like that. So thank God that, I'm just honored to have her here and honored that she, appreciate her reaching out and saying, hey, what are you guys doing? And I would love to give some value to the group here at Agent Mastermind. So welcome to the call, and you have some amazing stuff. You have one topic that we have never touched on, which is Instagram, so I can't wait to hear what you have to say about that. But why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and then share with us what you have for us.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again so much for inviting me today. I'm just thrilled to be here. Like you mentioned a few weeks ago, my phone was blowing up. I was getting all these likes, and people were coming on my website, and I was trying to figure out what the heck was going on. And my dear friend Stacy Staub, who I just love and respect, she's an amazing realtor in the Denver area, had reached out to me and said, yeah, I mentioned your name on Agent Mastermind. So big shout out to Stacy, because she's awesome and also a great one to follow with social media.
No question.
So thank you so much. For those of you who don't know me, I have been in the real estate space for, since about 2005. Got my start working at a local real estate brokerage here in the San Francisco Bay Area as a marketing director. From there, went on to work for Inman News. For those of you who don't know, Inman is, as I always like to say, it's kind of the Wall Street Journal for real estate. And I got to work for Inman for quite some time. Did a lot of work building up their social media platforms. When I was there, Inman had about 6,000 likes and followers, and by the time I left, we were hovering right around 300,000. So really exciting to work with them and build their social media strategy. And close to 2 years ago, I went out on my own, started my own consulting firm, and right now I work with companies in real estate and mortgage, helping them with their social media strategy. Some of my clients include RE/MAX International, PNC Mortgage, RPM Mortgage, DocuSign, lots of great companies within the space. And I love talking about social media and social media strategy. For me, I come from a place where I feel like it's really important to talk about things that really work, things that are really actionable for real estate professionals. I know there's a lot of social media gurus who are out there, and I'm not a guru. I'm just someone who's really passionate about the subject and really believes in teaching things that are actionable. So my hope today is that as you're listening, you take away one or two nuggets that you can implement immediately into your business. And today's topic is all about visual marketing and visual strategy. And as Scott mentioned, I'm going to touch on Instagram a little bit, as well as Pinterest. Because, one of the things I'm seeing from real estate agents is I get the chance to speak to a lot of agents. I speak at a lot of conferences. One of the biggest differentiators with agents that are succeeding in social media, meaning they're turning those likes into leads, they're getting referrals, they're getting business from social media, one of the biggest things that they're doing is they're using visuals to do that. So I'm going to share with you some really kind of fun best practices here today. I want to kind of start off with a few stats. Pretty incredible as far as what's happening with Instagram. A lot of times we just think Instagram is where our kids are at or where the college kids are at, and that's definitely a big demographic. But more and more people are flocking to Instagram each and every day. 55 million photos are uploaded every single day. 86.4 million comments are posted, and 691.2 million users are liking various photos in Instagram. So it's a very bustling network for sure.
Katie, now that you've kind of as I'm thinking about this Instagram thing, Instagram is kind of like Pinterest, and it's all photo driven, right? It's kind of, you can share, you can like, you can all well, I guess you can't share, maybe you can, I don't know, you're going to tell us that, but is that why Facebook got into the realm of Instagram, because of the photo type thing? People were going that direction?
Yeah, it's absolutely, that's exactly the reason.
Okay.
I would say 90 to 95% of the posts on Facebook that get the most engagement have a photo attached to them. And if you were to log into Facebook right now, the biggest thing that you see in your news feed are the photos that people are sharing. So that's one of the reasons why Instagram succeeded, because it's all photos. And when you share photos, at the risk of sounding corny, it's kind of intimate, because you're sharing things that are personal to you, maybe your kids, or a great glass of wine you had last night at dinner, or your dog, or whatever you're sharing.
Right.
That's how people connect. A lot of times it's through photos.
Right on.
One of the things I want to mention too, you guys probably already know this because you're agent masterminders, but the hashtag is hashtag agent mastermind. So as we're going through things, feel free to tweet me or to Instagram me or whatever you'd like to do, and
There you go.
I'll definitely respond later. So a few other things that, as far as what I'm going to kind of cover today, visual marketing, in my opinion, is a way to tell your story. There's a lot of talk out there about personal branding and what that means, and in my opinion, what that means is just how are you telling your story? And your story is so much more than your logo, right? Your story is who you are and what you're passionate about and what you're interested in and what differentiates yourself. And it really helps to build your business and your brand, and it really helps to connect with clients. One of the things I always say, and if you're tweeting, feel free to tweet this, and that is people will hire you because of your experience, but they will connect with you because of things you share personally. Right? People connect with you because you share things about maybe your kids or your pets or things that are important to you. Not that you necessarily need to share everything, but that's how we connect with people, right?
Right on.
Visuals do a lot of things. They appeal to emotions, they create an intimacy, they help to engage consumers, and they really help to reach a larger audience, like we just talked about a second ago. And so one of the things I'm going to cover today, got a lot of meat, so I'm going to talk fast. But I'm going to share some success stories of agents who are succeeding in social. I always get asked for, what are some real life examples. I've got a lot of real life great examples. I'm going to talk a little bit about Instagram and Pinterest with some do's and don'ts, some tools and apps, little things that make a big difference, and then I've got kind of a fun announcement at the end today. So, all right. Cool. So, agents succeeding in social media. I sort of alluded to this a second ago, but one of the biggest things I see when people go, well, Katie, are agents really succeeding in social media? Yes, agents really are. Not all of them. Unfortunately, there's a lot of what I call Facebook graveyards out there, where
That's a great way to put it.
Right, where agents had the best of intentions. They set up a Facebook page, but then they got busy. Right, they just didn't have time to maintain it. But where I see agents succeeding the most, whether they have a personal profile, whether they have a business page, that's a whole other conversation. But what they're doing is they're using photos a lot. And so they're using photos to talk about what does it feel like to live in your city? What does it feel like to work with their team? They're capturing moments, like the moment someone gets the first set of keys for the first time, the moment they're signing a document on their iPad, or they're standing with a sold sign. I saw an amazing photo yesterday. One of my good friends in Southern California, Brent Humphreys, who's a realtor in Carlsbad, had this photo of his clients. The husband was carrying his wife over the threshold. They were so excited that they had just bought a home. And I'm like, that is awesome. That is exactly what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
sharing
absolutely.
those kind of moments. And then also sharing the backstory, sharing sort of like behind the scenes stuff. And one of the things I love is, Scott, we're all walking around with these amazing devices that also happen to be phones, right? These,
right.
These smartphones. And
yeah.
And content doesn't necessarily need to be like these long blog posts you're writing. I mean, if you're a blogger, that's great. But what if just your content and what you're sharing is all about what you're taking with your phone? You're taking photos, you're out and about, you're snapping photos of your neighborhood or the community. And it sounds like a little thing, but it's really a big thing. And that's a huge differentiator with social media. And so I want to kind of give a few examples here. Remax, I know I'm a little biased because they're a client of mine, but one of the things that they do over and over really well is they talk about their market share and market statistics. This is their national housing report that they post on their Facebook page every month. And this statistically gets the highest number of shares, engagement, likes, comments, which is interesting because it's very data-driven, right? There's a lot of content that's on here. But it's something that gets really the most engagement, I think, because it has so much good meat to it. And, this is just a great example of something that gets emailed out. It gets posted to their website and sent to their agents, but it also gets posted on social media. So, if you're already doing data reports or market reports, why not have that be a piece of your strategy for what you're posting, especially your Facebook page. Showcasing your listings the right way. This is such a hot topic. There's a lot of people who say, never post a listing on Facebook. And I like to say, you can talk about your listings because that is part of your business. And if you're using Facebook to build your business, then you should talk about your listings. But it's all about how you do it and how you present it. And here's two great examples. I've got Live Urban Real Estate. I've got to give them another shout out. That's, Cece Style. We mentioned her earlier. But they do such a great job of talking about their listings. You go to their Facebook page, And these are all listing photos, but they have like a, they probably use an app or something to put text over the photos. They've got a little hashtag under here. They have beautiful photos, first of all. That's a huge piece of it. Same thing with Ebby Holiday, down in the Texas area. They've got just a little, sentence down here, find your next home on Ebby.com. And if you read what they've written right here, it's not just, hey, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, open Sunday 1 to 4. They spent a little bit more time writing about what it is. And so you can talk about your listings, but doing so in the right way. And photos, oh, they're so important, as we all know, right?
Right on, absolutely.
A few other examples here. Showcasing causes that are important to you. I know so many of you probably are involved in philanthropy or charity organizations. This is a good friend of mine, Joe Scott. He's out in Boston. Just did a really great local event at a Cole Haan store locally to him, giving back to a local organization. And he promoted it all through social, had some great photos promoting the event before, promoting the event during while it was happening, and then after. And I'm out in California, and I saw a lot of what he was doing because of the great photos and just, making the most of sort of that opportunity.
Now, where was that at? Where was that at again?
That was in Boston.
That pic right there, is that, where's that, is that Instagram or is that?
This is Facebook. This is a Facebook event page.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
So just an event.
Yeah, definitely, just an event.
Got it.
A couple other Facebook examples, and I'm going to dive into Instagram here. But giving people a sneak peek. This is someone I know well. He's a mortgage professional up in Washington, and they just opened up a new office. And it might seem funny. Well, gosh, he just took a photo of like the nameplates. Who really cares? But it's a way that to really connect with people on your Facebook page. People love the sort of behind the scenes sneak peek. He took a bunch of photos as they were moving in their boxes and just, again, telling your story.
Yeah,
totally, having fun with it, not getting too serious about it. Last couple examples here, Red Oak Realty, they're here in the Bay Area. They do a great job of recognizing their agents. If you're a broker listening to this call, or maybe you're a marketing person who helps, your team of agents, this is a great opportunity, highlighting your team of agents, highlighting a group on Facebook, just as you would, again, in email or any other marketing that you might do.
Now, would you say that, because most of those examples are business, do you find that being all the work that you've done, like you said, like Inman News going from 6,000 to 300,000, and the Remax and DocuSign, all that stuff, do you find that when they connect with the consumer in a personal level is better or the same as a business level, or how did you go, like what was your strategy with Inman News to go from 6,000 to 300,000? Like, what was was it about Inman News and the content that they put up there, or was it going deep with the people that actually were part of it and then having them share and connect and engage, stuff like that? Does that make sense? That's a tough question.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. It was a little of both. So it was on one hand putting together a really solid content strategy, because obviously Inman puts out so much content, so that piece of it was easier in some sense because there's so much content, but getting a consistent plan of when we were going to publish, how often, the frequency, and getting that in place, who was going to manage that, who's going to manage the comments and engagement, but then certainly the personal piece of it, and getting other people besides just me to engage with people. And also to tap into some of the key kind of influencers who love the brand. And I found that a lot of those influencers, a lot of them are ambassadors now who just love the brand, who naturally will talk about the brand, and so kind of engaging them, I call it kind of hand-to-hand combat, where there's the philosophy of social media to the masses, which is great, but really that one-to-one. I mean, that's how I got to know Stacy. That's how I got to know most of these agents, was just that one-to-one connection.
Well, I think you brought up something important that I think we've talked about kind of a little bit here and there, but is having people manage certain pieces of this. And Stacy Stobbs, she said her passion was managing the social media piece of her real estate company, and I think it was her mom and then her mom's boyfriend. But like that has, like, they've literally doubled their business this year just by having somebody manage certain pieces of the social media that actually were passionate about it. And so I can't stress enough, the best part about social media that I love, Katie, is that somebody can log into my Facebook, somebody can log into my Instagram, somebody can log into anything that I have social media-wise, and it looks like I'm doing it.
Yeah.
when I'm not doing it. I'm out
Mm-hmm.
meeting with clients and showing homes and writing up contracts and stuff like that. So but they're going deep with their database. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the beauty part
Exactly.
about So
Exactly. And
management.
there's definitely certain pieces that you could have help with, whether it's an assistant or a social media, person that you hire.
No question. Yep.
I will say that there's definitely a lot of value in having you be there personally as for part of that, just like
Oh,
any other,
sure.
but it makes sense to, to leverage your time wisely, for sure. Just my last example here, and then I'm going to dive into some really cool stuff with Instagram. This is an example from American Express, obviously not real estate, but they do a lot of this sort of then and now photos on their Facebook page, which I just think is very cool, right? This is the old credit card, and what it looks like now. And I just think, for especially for agents who've been in the business a long time, you probably have some sort of funny photos, right, of maybe the big MLS book or, our big fax machines or whatever they might be.
Right on.
And to sort of bring out some of those stories. It's a really great opportunity. So let me dive into some really cool stuff with Instagram. It's funny you mentioned, Scott, that you haven't talked a whole lot about Instagram. I find, for whatever reason, Instagram kind of gets lost in the shuffle of social media sometimes.
It does. It should does. I mean, everybody uses it, but I don't know why we've never talked about it. So I'm like, it's killing me to see what you have to say about it and the best way to use it.
Absolutely. And, well, Instagram is a platform where, obviously it's you can edit photos, you can make photos, look better, enhance your photos, but it's also its own social network. You can you can interact with people. I think one of the things I really like about Instagram is it's really simple. There's no ads as of right now. That will probably change at some point. But it's a very clean, simple interface. And I have an example here of two of my good friends, Nikki Beauchamp, she's a broker in New York, and Christophe Shu, he's a luxury agent in Beverly Hills. And both of them are great examples of people who are using Instagram really well for their business. And what you'll notice if you're friends with either one of them or if you're connected to either one of them on Instagram is, again, they don't just post about business. You're not just going to see photos of their listings, but you see things that help to tell the story of who they are. So Christophe will post photos of his adorable little dogs. He'll post photos of some of the amazing homes he gets to tour. He'll post photos of some incredible parties he goes to in Beverly Hills. He has a pretty luxurious life he leads, but he does a great job of telling that story. Nikki is another great example. She's in New York City. You see a lot of photos of the city. You see photos of events she's gone to, or her dogs, how she uses technology, some of the fun things in her life, and some personal, some business. But it just helps to tell the story of who they are in a really successful way.
Now, maybe you don't know this, but do they primarily use? Because 2,700 followers is insane, and then followers like 900. So, do they primarily use Instagram over Facebook, or are they kind of doing one and the same, using both?
Yeah, they're using both. They're definitely using both. They both have this really strong presence on Facebook. They also have a strong presence on Twitter.
Okay.
And so some of their photos, they just post to Instagram. Some of them they choose to also post to Instagram and also Facebook. Yeah.
Got it.
And I do the same thing. I have a lot of, some of my photos I choose just to keep on Instagram. Some I choose to push to Facebook. It just, depends on what the photo is, and a lot of times how I feel about that, that exact moment. Do I want to share it? Do I not want to share it? Right.
Right. What I've always what I've always talked about is I don't care what business you're in. I guarantee you have everybody on this call, and everybody in every business has past clients in Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. I could go on and on and on. I guarantee your past clients are there. Not all of them. They're all different levels. They're all at different levels. They're all there sometimes. But if you're not at the party ever, there's no way for them to remember you, and that's what I've always talked about. It's so important to, some way, shape, or form, have a presence in all facets of social media, because you just don't know where that next referral is going to come from, and if they don't remember you, they can't refer you.
Exactly. And certain people, I would say most people actually, sort of gravitate towards one platform or the other. I have one of my clients who's all about Instagram. That's their favorite platform. So I know how am I going to connect with him and get to know him better is on Instagram. Correct. It's not Facebook. It's not LinkedIn. It's not, and that's just him, right? Because I've asked him, and I know that that's sort of his thing. A few other things I want to just point out right here. You'll notice both these guys have their websites on here. This is, kind kind of a no-brainer, but it's really important. You've got your bio filled out on Instagram. You've got your links. You only are allowed one link, so make sure you've got your website or your blog, whatever you want in there. And then one of the things I like here about Nikki is she put in a hashtag right here, NYCRE. This is a hashtag, New York City Real Estate, that she uses a lot in her pictures when she talks about New York City. And hashtags are a big part of Instagram. If you're on Instagram and you click on this little star right here, you can search by people, but you can also search by hashtags. So if you were to click that little star on Instagram and type in a hashtag like hashtag NYCRE, or any other hashtag, hashtag realtor, hashtag real estate, hashtag San Francisco, hashtag, whatever it might be, you'll see thousands, if not more, conversations happening. And it's a great way to connect with people, locally if you're using some local hashtags. Obviously, you're sort of going to get the gamut of everybody and anybody who's using that hashtag. But at the same time, it's a great way to see who in your area is on Instagram. I know a lot of people at events, every event generally has a hashtag. A lot of people who are maximizing Instagram will, again, click that star, search the event hashtag, and see who is posting photos from that event. And that's a great way at an event to connect with people.
Absolutely.
One last thing I just want to mention on this slide before I go to the next one. If you've been on Instagram a while, I encourage you, there's this button over here to the right where if you click that button, that's kind of your settings button, and you can find people that you know, either through your contacts or your Facebook friends who you're not connected to on Instagram yet. And I encourage you to check this out. I did this recently. I've been on Instagram a couple years, and I hadn't actively looked for new followers recently, and I checked on here, and it was amazing to me how many people I was really close to on Facebook that I hadn't yet connected to on Instagram for whatever reason. So just a little tip, if you've been on Instagram a while, check that and see who you might not be connected to yet that you're already friends with.
Yeah, because it actually, just so you know, when you're in Instagram and somebody signs up, it's kind of weird that people are just signing up for Facebook, but they do. so
right.
you get these little notifications saying you're so-and-so joined Facebook, invite them to Instagram. So I'm like, really? Where's that rock at? I want to know where they're living. Where the kids living on Instagram?
I know. Welcome to 2014.
Right.
I want to share a couple of just tools that I think are really kind of cool with Instagram. So there's all kinds of great tools out there. There's a website called statagram.com, so Statagram. This is a great website if you're looking for stats around your Instagram activity. This is very important, especially if you happen to be managing someone's Instagram account, maybe you're a marketing person, maybe you're helping a team of agents with Instagram, whatever it might be. But I love this because it'll give you some really simple stats about, the likes, the comments. It just helps you really kind of manage the growth of what's happening on Instagram.
Very interesting. Okay, cool.
Yeah, very cool. Another one of my favorite tools, this is a website called Prinstagram. It's a little bit of a mouthful.
All right.
But Prinstagram is a way to print your photos, to print your Instagram photos. So I'm seeing a lot of agents use this. A lot of times you can use this website to turn your photos into magnets. You can turn them into beautiful portraits. Taking something that usually is online and stays in your phone, and then actually turn it into something, perhaps a great gift for your client.
But you can turn your photos into a book now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very. My wife just did it on a trip we took. We had all these photos, and she took it to. I don't remember what she took it to, but this would probably be the same thing. You could probably turn your photos into a book. So if you had I don't know, what I've always loved the thought of is somebody building a brand new home, and you got the dirt, and you have the basement, and you have as you grow, you have all these photos, and you turn those photos into a book. What an amazing gift.
Yep.
That you can give them with your information on the back. That's just something they're just always going to keep. You can't throw that away.
No, absolutely. Exactly, because it evokes emotion. It tells a story of their home. And it's funny you mentioned that because I have an app for that.
No way. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
No, right?
Funny.
We're on the same page.
I didn't see this either. I swear, I didn't peek.
Well, this is one of my favorite apps for creating a photo book. I know there's lots of apps out there, but it's called Mosaic app, and I'll be honest, I'm not sure if it's available for Android. I'm kind of an iPhone junkie, so I apologize to my Android friends. I don't know if it's on Android. I'm almost positive it is, but it's an app where, in my opinion, it's the easiest photo app ever. Basically, you open it up, and it will only allow you to add 20 photos. So you pull 20 photos in, either from Facebook or from Instagram, and then you can rearrange them. And That's basically it. It's very simple. It's a beautiful look. I believe it's $20 plus shipping. I think it ends up being like $26.95 when it's all said and
Amazing.
done. And
And it is available for Droid, by the way.
oh, good. Thank you. Thank you.
Yep.
And it's a beautiful leather-bound book. I mean, I've actually created one of these for my husband. I created one of these for my mom and dad for a present last year at Christmas. It's a beautiful, it's sort of like a 7x7 or maybe an 8x8 kind of square book. It comes in this really pretty box, and it's just a beautiful presentation. So, and I have no affiliation with Mosaic. I just happen to really like their app.
How cool would that be to like go to a wedding, graduation party, open house of a new client with a new home with all their family over? I mean, for $20,
right?
Give them a book of all these photos instead of just putting it out there on social media. You do that, but also send them a book.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just something they never forget.
Exactly. I actually used this app a couple months ago. One of my clients had a big launch party, and I took photos that whole night, and then about a week or so later, I surprised them with this book, and they were just like blown away, and I was like, all I did was push a few buttons on my phone,
Right.
But it was a special event for them, and it's, this is a really, really kind of a cool opportunity.
Amazing.
So just a few do's and don'ts, and then I'm going to hit on some really cool stuff with Pinterest. So some do's. I would say integrate personal and professional. I believe in the 80-20 rule, meaning 80% personal, 20% business. That's sort of my rule across most social platforms, I would say, except LinkedIn. LinkedIn's more of a professional network. But personal and professional, having that balance. Looking for moments of opportunity. I would say life is content. So when you're out and about and you see an amazing home on broker tour, or you see a great sunset, why not capture that and post that on Instagram or Facebook? That helps to tell your story. Use hashtags with moderation. Don't be the hashtag guy that uses like 100 hashtags. Just pick like one or two.
Jimmy Fallon. Yeah, don't be a
Exactly.
Jimmy Fallon commercial. Yeah.
Exactly. Hashtag. And if possible, if you're on Twitter also, try to match your Twitter and your Instagram names, if possible. It just makes it consistent if you're on Twitter and you're also on Instagram. It's not always possible, but if possible. A few don'ts. Don't use stock photos. I don't know why, but sometimes I see all these stock photos on Instagram. I'm like, really? Instagram is supposed to be a photo you take. So don't use stock photos. Don't use someone else's photo without their permission. Don't have it be all about business, as I said a second ago. Don't ask people to follow you back. And don't flood the feed, meaning, if you've got a bunch of great photos, don't post all 10 of them into Instagram all at the same time because you're flooding the feed. So one or two, and then do a few later. There's one other app I didn't mention on here that if you're taking notes or you're tweeting, write this one down. There's a great app called Regram. So Regram, R-E-G-R-A-M, Regram, that I love. I've been using a lot lately, which is basically like a retweet. So you can take a photo from someone else's feed and regram it as your own photo, and it gives credit to that person. It's a great photo. Like, for example, if your client takes a great photo and you're friends with them on Instagram, you could regram that photo to your feed. So
so just to repeat what she said, so it's REGRAM.me.
Yep.
So Regram, REGRAM.me, just so you know.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right, so I'm going to switch gears over to Pinterest here. Pinterest is like the cousin to Instagram in a lot of ways, because Pinterest is all about visual also. Pinterest is growing like leaps and bounds. It's incredible. One of the...
Can I back up real quick one second?
Sure.
A couple of questions coming in. I always like to ask.
Yeah, absolutely.
When I see more questions, there a couple asking, talk more about hashtags. Like, not sure how, when to use them. Do you have any recommendations on hashtags?
Sure. I would say, gosh, I get asked about hashtags all the time. I think it's something that's very confusing for a lot of people.
Right.
You don't have to necessarily use a hashtag every single time. I would recommend, if you're posting a photo that has to do with your business, so maybe it's a photo about a listing, maybe it's a photo with your clients, or a photo of a neighborhood you serve, then you want to use a hashtag. And in my opinion, one of the best hashtags is the hashtag of your city. So if you're in Denver, hashtag Denver, hashtag San Francisco, hashtag NYC. Use a hashtag for your city, and then use a hashtag like real estate. So maybe use hashtag Denver, hashtag real estate, hashtag Denver real estate. Pick one or two that seem to make sense.
You go with all the time.
That you go with all the time,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And the benefit to using a hashtag is if someone is happening to search that, if they're searching hashtag Denver or hashtag real estate, then your post is going to come up. That's one of the reasons why I use hashtags, is so people who aren't already friends with you will see your content.
Yes. And Facebook's the same way. Like, you can search just hashtag. I mean, it didn't go off like Twitter did. I mean, it did go off on Facebook like they thought it would, or Instagram for that matter. But still, if you want to search like a hot topic on Twitter, you would go search the hashtag, and typically, if something's going on, it'll be that hashtag, and you'll be able to find all these conversations going on about the same thing. So you're really looking to join a conversation, or when someone's looking for, you know, if I'm in Kalamazoo, so if I put hashtag Kalamazoo, and someone's thinking about visiting Kalamazoo, restaurants in Kalamazoo, buying a house in Kalamazoo, selling a house in Kalamazoo, and they search hashtag Kalamazoo homes, or just Kalamazoo for that matter, my stuff will come up.
Yep, absolutely. Yep.
Cool.
Great question. Was there any other questions about Instagram?
Somebody brought up Groove Book. Check out Groove, GROOVEBOOK.com.
Yeah, that's a very cool app.
$2.99 for a 100-photo book. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, Groove Book was featured a couple months ago on Shark Tank, one of my favorite shows.
Really?
And yeah, this husband and wife invented the product. It's basically you use their app and you pay. It's a monthly fee. You pay $2.99, and you pick 100 photos from your phone that you want printed, and they literally send you. It's this little book with photos, and they're all perforated, so you can just either keep it as a book or you can detach them and give them to people. So I haven't used it yet. Actually, I have the app on my phone, but I haven't used it yet. It seems like a cool thing, though.
Right. Hey, what was the app for the stats on Instagram? What was that again?
Oh, sure. I'll go back here. It's called Statagram.
Statagram. Cool.
Yeah. Awesome.
Cool.
All right. Are we ready for Pinterest?
All right. Let's do it.
All right. Pinterest. So let's see here. So with Pinterest, there's personal profiles with Pinterest. There's also business pages with Pinterest. I don't think for the average agent you necessarily need to have both. It's a lot like Facebook. There's personal profiles and business profiles. Just like your business profile on Facebook, you've got stats, you've got more capabilities. It's the same thing with Pinterest. If you have a business account on Pinterest, you can you have things like analytics. There's just a lot more sort of business features. In my opinion, a Pinterest business page is ideal for a brokerage, an office, a team. I don't see too many individual agents having business pages just because of their bandwidth, because of their time, to manage all these different platforms. So not that it's not worth it, but, I will say with business pages, like I said, there's analytics involved with it. If you are part of a team, having a Pinterest business page is a great thing to check out. I want to share a few tools when it comes to Pinterest. Tailwind is a great product. Tailwind is actually a product to schedule your pins. So some of you might use Hootsuite to schedule tweets. Tailwind is similar to that, but it's for Pinterest. So you can actually schedule your pins. You can sit down on a Friday if you want, and Pinterest, you can schedule pins out. One thing that's really interesting about Pinterest, sometimes Pinterest gets kind of written off as the network that is just for wedding photos or craft projects or kids stuff. But home, anything to do with home is one of the largest, one of the biggest things that's searched on Pinterest. Just the word home. That gets searched more than almost anything on Pinterest. And so, using Pinterest to drive traffic back to your website is a really great opportunity. This is another really great tool that I love for Pinterest. It's called Share as Image. Share as Image. It's a website. And what this does is you can put in text. Like if you're a blogger, I know not all of you are, but if you're a blogger and you have some text, you could put some of your text in from your blog into this website, and it will pop up. It will create a photo for you with text on it that matches your article. It's really cool. And you guys have seen photos with text over it. That's a really popular thing right now. That gets a lot of engagement on social media. But it's a great tool for Pinterest specifically.
So the first thing I think of when I see that, go back one second, so the first thing I think of is like a picture of a home.
Yep.
And you could take the picture of the, so say you as an agent are showing homes, right? And you're showing 4 homes today. Picture of each home, take the picture, put the address on the first level, could be you on the second level, and send it to them, or whatever, so they can separate themselves from, because when you start looking at homes, it's like, oh my God, they all look the same, kind of like smelling coffee or smelling perfume. It's like, oh my God, I can't smell anymore, you know? So it's like, just separate yourself from that. Like, it's just doing something of value for your clients. I can tell you how powerful that is. And heaven forbid you get a picture of them standing by the home, you insert into something. I mean, there's so many crazy things you can do with this. Vicky's going to do a class next week on how to take your photos, make flyers, ads, and stuff with a software that we already have. So this will be a great addition to that.
Oh, it's huge. It's huge. You know, and I'm speaking from experience. I probably shouldn't say this on a call with 200 real estate agents, but I'm house hunting right now, and I have a great realtor. You know, but as you know, it's funny being on the other side of things right now, and it's interesting because, like you said, homes get lost in the shuffle. My realtor will say, "Remember this home or this town?" And I'm like, "Wait, which one was that? Wait, which one was that?"
Right.
So using a tool like this, you know, I'm going to recommend this to her.
Cool. Now, is this just on a computer, or is it a mobile app too? It's probably just a computer.
It's just a computer, yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Cool.
I know if you have an iPad or tablet, if you use Safari and go into it, you could, that work. It's kind of a good workaround.
Cool.
And so, you know, just a few do's and don'ts. And again, for those of you who've never used Pinterest, it's like a big online scrapbook, for lack of a better word, right? And you obviously can pin different images, have different boards. It's one of the biggest traffic drivers for a lot of people, driving traffic back to their website, driving traffic back to their blog. So a few do's and don'ts. Get creative, you know, just like Instagram, get creative, have fun with it. Pin from a variety of sources. So you might pin all of your listing photos. That's one great thing to pin. But maybe you're going to pin community photos. Maybe you're going to pin photos of your team. You know, again, using Pinterest to kind of tell the story of what it feels like to live in your area. You know, when I look at some of the agents who are doing a great job with Pinterest, that's exactly what they're doing. They're using it to explain and to show visually what are the great restaurants, what are the great schools, what are the great parks visually through Pinterest. And such a great tool. Imagine working with a relocation buyer and they're like, well, I don't have any idea what's the difference between, you know, Orange County, California, and LA. Well, unless you live down there, you know it's like worlds apart, even though they're only an hour apart, right?
Right on, right.
So, you know, why not have a Pinterest board that sort of visually showcases a lot of that stuff? I have a tip on here. This is a great tip. Install the Pin It button on your browser.
I'm a freak about that thing. I'm like a freak on that, yeah.
It makes a huge difference. If you've never done this before, if you go to Pinterest, there's a button on Pinterest called Goodies. It's the Goodies button. And the Goodies button will show you how to download this little Pin It button, and you can download it if you have Firefox or, you know, Safari or Chrome or whatever your browser is of choice. And then when you're on the internet and you happen to be, you know, looking at a blog post or reading an article, you can just pin it from that article. You don't have to go to Pinterest.com and upload anything. It just makes it so much easier.
I think on Chrome, just so everybody knows, it's part of the, what do they call it, the Pin It button for Chrome. It's part of the store. What is the store that I'm thinking of? The Chrome Web Store?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's part of the Chrome Web Store now. So if you get a, if you just Google Pin It button for Chrome, it'll come up, and then you can add to Chrome, and it's right there. It puts it in a little toolbar at the top, real nice, professional for you.
Nice, nice. And then a few other do's and don'ts. You know, liking and sharing pins. That's an important piece of it. You know, if you're active on Pinterest, search to see, are your clients on Pinterest? Some of them won't be, but I can tell you the people who are on Pinterest are really big Pinterest people. People who love Pinterest will spend hours on Pinterest. So, you know, going back to my other client who's really active on Instagram, that's his network. I have a couple clients who are huge on Pinterest, so that's how I connect with them. I like some of their pins. I comment. I repin, obviously authentically. You know, don't just click like on everything. But, you know, liking and sharing pins, pinning from original sources, I think is important. And then as far as a few don'ts, don't repin without giving credit. Don't have it be all about your business unless you have a business page. And then again, kind of common sense, but don't download photos from the web and upload them as your own. This is an important thing. So lots of really kind of cool things that you can do with Pinterest for sure.
Very cool.
I do want to point out, I mentioned this to Scott earlier before the call. I wrote an ebook a couple months ago all about
It's a really good ebook, by the way. I had a chance to look at it, and it's really good. So it's a great reference piece. Yeah, very nice, very nice.
Thank you. Yeah, it's all about Instagram and Pinterest. And so if you go to katielance.com/Pinstagram-ebook, It'll just ask for your name and email address. I promise I won't spam you or anything like that.
Right.
But you put your name and email in, and it's a free download, and it has a lot of what I just talked about right now, plus a lot more, other apps, other websites. You know, if you've had some questions about Instagram and Pinterest, you've done it a little bit, or maybe you've been on those platforms for a while and you want to take it to the next level, would love for you to download it. It's you know, I put a lot of heart into it, so a lot of good stuff there.
Good stuff. Yep.
Just a few little last things here. I get asked all the time about other apps, and so I want to share a few other apps. You know, I hinted to this a second ago, but putting text over photos is a great thing you can do for Instagram. It's a great thing you can do for Pinterest to really increase engagement, increase people liking and commenting on your photos. These are two of my favorite apps. This one's called A Beautiful Mess. I don't know where they came up with that name. But
A Beautiful Mess, nice.
And this one's called Over, O-V-E-R. And both of those are great for putting text over photos. So whether it's a quote, whether it's you know, a word. And by the way, I will mention, if you're taking professional photos, or if you have a professional photographer, make sure you ask them, get their permission before you edit their photos. That's always an important caveat to mention. But it's you know, again, I look back at some of those listing photos that I showed earlier. Some of those are beautiful photos, but just by putting a little bit of text over it can really enhance it and make it more of a conversation in social media. A few other of my favorite apps, Camera Plus. I think I've been using Camera Plus for a couple of years now. It's still one of my go-to apps just for enhancing a photo, making it look brighter, clearer. If you've ever taken a photo that's really dark and then you try using a flash and it looks worse, Camera Plus is a great app to just edit it and make it look a lot better. You can add borders and text. And then another one of my favorite apps, this is a great app called Pick, Play, Post.
I love that one too. I was going to bring that up earlier, and I'm like, maybe she's going to cover it, so I won't bring it up. But yeah, that one's great because it has all different kinds of formats, and you can put pictures together. Love that one.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can use it as a collage app, but you can also integrate video, which is really cool. So you can take a collage and put in 2 or 3 photos, but then you can also have one of these little squares be a video, right? And I've seen agents who
Really?
Yeah, it's very cool. I've seen agents do this really well, where maybe they take 2 or 3 videos or 2 or 3 photos, I'm sorry, of maybe their community, and then they take a quick 10-second video, maybe panning Main Street or panning the downtown area, and they put all that together in a really simple collage here, and you can put that into Instagram, you can put that on Facebook, any of your other social networks. It's very cool. You're looking at it and going, wait a minute, this picture is moving because
Right.
part of it's moving. So
this is on your phone. This app's for your phone. So like, there's nothing. You don't need anything else except for the phone you have. So
yeah,
that's
exactly.
the cool part about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really cool.
Yep.
A couple other great sites to help sort of enhance your photos. This is a site that's like blowing up. It's getting so much press and publicity right now. It's called Canva, C-A-N-V-A, canva.com. Guy Kawasaki, who used to be the chief evangelist for Apple, is now the chief evangelist for Canva. So he's sort of blowing up, and it's a really cool site to create images that are specifically sized for Pinterest, specifically sized for different social media sites, presentations, posters, Facebook cover photos, Twitter headers. You know,
That looks like a really good one. I haven't heard of that one before.
yeah,
Wow.
it's awesome. There's you can pick different backgrounds, and it's very simple and really, really, really great tool.
Very cool.
Just a couple of last ones here. We've got pickmonkey.com. This is a fun one.
Heard of that one?
I've used this for quite some time. You can make collages, you can design your photos, edit, touch up photos. And then in terms of just a few things that make a really big difference on both these platforms, using text over photos, that really makes a big difference. So using some of those apps, photo collages can definitely make a big difference to tell the story of your clients or your communities. Asking customers or clients to share their photos, that's a great opportunity. Yeah, infographics as well. It used to be that you had to hire a designer to create infographics, and now there's a lot of great tools. There's a great site called Infogram, which is infogr.am, which is a free tool. You can actually create.
That's really cool. I sent that. Yep. That's an awesome site, by the way. Yeah, that's really cool.
Exactly. Especially if you're doing a lot of data stuff. Data is sometimes really boring to look at.
Right.
Right. You've got some great market reports. And if you're a blogger too, my last tip here is if you're a blogger, make sure that you include a photo in every one of your blog posts. A really, really great photo that's that's pinnable, right? That if someone were to read it, they'd want to pin it. Okay, I think we're ready for my special announcement.
Cool, cool. So everybody got the book.
Yeah.
And
any
so yeah, let me see. Can these apps be entered through your PC? I think Instagram can. I think most of them have a computer platform.
Yes, most of them do.
I think, yeah, most of them have a computer platform. Like, I'm not sure all of them do. Some of them are just strictly on your phone.
Yep.
Let's see. Any of these last apps found on Android? I think most of them are on Android. Android's big enough to where I think they do when they do one, they do the other.
Yep.
Is it, here's a good question I never even thought of. Instagram, is it all over the world? I'm pretty not probably kind of like Facebook is all over. I think it's pretty much the same. I'm not sure though.
It is, yeah. It's definitely a global community. I mean, there's, just like Facebook, there's restrictions in some countries depending on government laws and all that fun stuff. But yeah, it's a global social network. Let's
see. Taking pics on her presentation now with my iPhone. Very cool. And note-taking on iPad. Just FYI. Thank you, Doris. Houston, Texas. That's funny. Let me download that. Looks like everybody's downloaded their app. So if you, cool stuff. All right. So
cool.
You have a couple questions you wanted to ask for the group here. Got a good-sized group.
Yeah.
And just maybe get some thoughts on what you guys are thinking as far as social media. Go ahead.
Definitely. So, as I was sharing with Scott kind of before the call here, a big part of my business is consulting. It's, helping companies with their social media strategy. But I get asked all the time from agents, do you work with agents one-on-one? And it's, as much as I would love to, I just don't have, the bandwidth or the time a lot of times. And just it's a lot of them cost prohibitive for a lot of the agents who want to work with me. So I've had a lot of people come up to me and say, do you do group coaching? Do you do group coaching? And so it's something I'm definitely heavily considering, strongly considering. and so I wanted to bring it up to this group first because, it's so well respected in the industry. I know there's so many great people on the call right here. And so I wanted to offer it up to all of you first, that if you're interested in group coaching, I would love for you, I have just a little link right here. And it's a couple questions. It's actually a little bit of a survey just to sort of get feedback about what you think would be the most valuable. I think it's like 5 questions or less. It's very simple, I promise. But would love your feedback as far as, if this is something you might be interested in, cost-wise, what you think, would possibly be in your budget. I'm in the early stages of putting together a group, hopefully by the end of the summer is my plan there. But it's something I'm really passionate about, helping agents be successful in their social media and helping them, figure out a strategy, figure out a plan. So the website on here, it's bit.ly, so bit.ly/KLC coaching. And there's no commitment. You're not paying anything.
I don't know if it's just me, but I tried the link and it says I need permission. Did you make it public by chance?
It should be.
Okay, all right. It says you need permission. This form can only be viewed by users in the owner's organization.
Okay. All right. I will make sure that it's public then, for sure.
Okay, cool, perfect.
Definitely. Thank you.
All right. So let's see. Scroll down. Let me just unmute. Hey, Robbie, what's going on, brother?
Well, one thing that I love that I picked up on today was obviously we know telling a story works well, and in the book, right? So if you're taking buyers out, you could take a photo of them at the office, them looking at a few different homes, finding the right one, the home inspection, and what a great gift to give to your buyer at the end is the book that shows the whole process from beginning to end with them standing in front of the front lawn and tell the wwhole story. I think that's kind of neat.
I think that'd be amazing. I mean, to not do that is kind of crazy for $20.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like to literally hand a $20 check over and have a client that goes, oh my God, like the very first time you looked at the home, to their kids in the bedrooms, to the dogs in the backyard, to the closing table, to family parties. I mean, just how can you not do that?
Well, as the process goes along, too, you're taking them out to see the second showing, and
right.
you're putting that on Facebook, and then it gives you the reason to like them and them to like you, right, and connect that way. Hey, I got some pictures of you guys. I'd love to share them with you. So
right
another
on.
reason to connect, and they share it with their friends. Hey, we're out looking for a home. Look what our realtor's doing. So just a great thank you for that tip. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome. Did you figure out that link by chance?
I'm on it right now.
Okay, cool. So while she's looking that up, I wanna share something with you guys that we're working on. We're not ready yet, and Robbie, I think I told you, and Katie, I would love your opinion. So if you guys that are left, what I'll do is I'll take the screen and then I'll give it right back to you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So I want to share something with you guys. Let me just, maybe I will. Where am I at? Let's see here. Karen, are you there by chance? Wait, here it is. Okay, I got it. One second. I'm going to take it back. Okay, show my screen. So check this out, guys. So here's what we're working on. Let me know what are your thoughts on it. So if you go to Pinterest.com/Agent Mastermind, and I'm not rolling this out right now, but this is going to be coming down the road here. I'm really super excited about it. Vicki and I have been working feverishly on this. What you'll notice here is 50 or so, well, there's 56 boards, and it's all the different topics that we found that are the biggest for real estate. And so how this is going to work when we figure out how to make this happen for so many people is, and we've already tried this on a couple people, Robbie, so if I take and you follow this board, and you follow, like say you follow these first 4 boards, your dream home, home decor, relaxing outside, colorful outside, inside, and then you follow those boards, and then you request that you be a pinner on those boards, okay? Get this. So when I add your email that you have in Pinterest to these boards as pinners, those boards will show up on your Pinterest board. Is that cool?
So it makes our boards more relevant then.
So it makes your boards more relevant, but here's the cool part. If we have, say we have 100 people on each board, okay? So say there's 100 people on your dream home, or for heaven's sakes, if we go, there's one down here where the townhouses in, condos in, popular neighborhoods with, home tour pinning. There's all kinds of like summertime scenes in. So like wherever you want to have whatever board you feel is most relevant for your Pinterest board, we might have a listings board or homes board, like whatever. So like if you pin, say that you're a pinner on your dream home, and you pin on it, everybody that's a pinner on that board, not only does it show up on their Pinterest account, but also they benefit from the pin that you just did. And so it's going 24/7. So you don't have to remember to pin because there's 100 pinners on that particular board. Does that make sense?
I just want to know when we're getting started, Scotty. What are you doing?
I know. Vicki and my partner's going, are you kidding me? You're not talking about that right now. So I mean, there's some work, and we have to have a person to help us with it because obviously we have a lot of people on all these calls. But what I'm looking to do is help every agent benefit on Pinterest, build their brand on Pinterest, and be have something of value to have a Pinterest board and not have to worry about pinning something every single day of every single week of every single month. They get value in somebody else doing a pin on your dream home or a new listing or painting the outside of your home or cleaning and organizing ideas. So we've put a bunch of pins in all of these, and as we grow as an organization, everybody will benefit from this, which I think will just be really, really cool. So I know Vicki's like wants to hit me right now. That's why I got my door locked. So yeah. How does that sound? Is that cool? Is that a cool idea? All right, cool.
I think it's why we tune in on Tuesdays, man.
Absolutely. So I'm just always passionate about providing something of value for every single person I ever meet, and so I thought, what better way to, I got the idea from that other group board, like you could be a pinner on that board, but it wasn't 100% real estate related. It was a ton of recipes and just like, okay, let's make something about real estate. So people can have their own personal boards. They can have their vacation boards, where they vacation and where they eat dinner and all that stuff. But they can also have 4 or 5 boards that have to do with real estate that they can build on, but not have to worry about building on and still have a really cool image inside Pinterest, which I don't know. I just love that idea. So, all right. So that'll be coming out in the. So I'll be looking for some testers for me, And it's so cool that when you say, I want these boards, and you follow those boards. So if you guys want, go follow all of the boards, and then when we do this, it'll be a lot easier, and then I'll add you as pinners. So if you go to pinterest.com/agentmastermind, we will be policing this, so if there's something that's not related to that particular pin, you will be banned and removed from the board and not be allowed back in, so we're not going to mess around with that. So we really, truly want everybody to work together on this and be a pinner for each board and be relevant to what the actual board is. So just we'll go there. But Katie, did you figure that out?
I did. I fixed it.
Right.
It's all good. I apologize.
All right. So you know what? I have the PowerPoint, so I'm going to put it right on my screen. Can everybody see that? Okay.
Yep.
Let me just go with. Let's see. Let me go with slideshow from the current. There we go. So if you go to that pin should work now. So let's just let's try that. I think I got it still here. Let's go with that.
Yeah, I dropped it in the chat, but you might want to drop it in for everybody to click on it.
Why is it? I wonder if it's just cookied me now. All right. Oh, is it a different? Okay, hold on. Let me just.
Yeah, what technology, right?
Here we go. Let me just check this. Check that. Yeah, it's still saying that. I don't know why. It's still saying you need permission. Is anybody else having luck with that?
That's so weird.
Done. Done. Sounds great. Let me just click on it and see if that works. Maybe yeah, it's still. So what we'll do, Katie, why don't you do this? Why don't you post that on the Agent Mastermind page?
Yeah.
So if you guys are joining us for the first time, if you go to facebook.com/, I'm just going to go there really quick right now, /Agent Mastermind. It's facebook.com/groups/Agent Mastermind. We will, of course, let you in. We have 7,800 and growing. We have 30 more, so it looks like we're going to be close to 8,000 before the end of the week, which will be very cool. And feel free to ask any questions, concerns, success stories, something you're struggling with, you need some assistance on, or scripts that work, don't work, whatever it is you have that you want to talk about, just post it right here, and we'll be here for you. And Katie's a member of the page. Honored to have you there as well, Katie.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's great to meet
And
everybody.
we'll make sure and post that link up there for you guys to get to. And then, of course, get with your loan professionals to get a copy of the PowerPoint, and that link will be in the PowerPoint, and we'll make sure that it's up for you. Does that sound good, Katie?
Yeah, absolutely. That's great.
Awesome. So any final words from Katie that she would like to leave us with? If somebody, here's what I always like to ask. It's like, so Katie, if someone was to start their social media platform and go, I'm going to do this, where would you start first?
Oh, that's the million-dollar question, right?
It is the million-dollar. It is for sure.
You know, I would say one of the best things to do is, if you're on social at all, is to do a little bit of cleanup. That's usually a good place to start. You know, most people I find have started a Facebook account at some time, or they've started LinkedIn at some point in time, but they haven't done anything with it. So a lot of times there's a little bit of spring cleaning that needs to happen. So
Okay.
I would recommend first and foremost is if you're on LinkedIn or you're on Facebook, those are typically the two that most agents are on with some capacity. You know, go through there, look at your About Me section. Do you have your email in there? Do you have your website? Do you have any information about yourself? Do you have an updated photo? You know, do you have links that actually click to have people find out about you? That would probably be the first place to start, is do a little bit of cleanup. And especially LinkedIn. LinkedIn is, you know, sometimes not as sexy to talk about as Facebook or Instagram, but
Right.
LinkedIn's an important professional network. And if you do anything on social media, if you're against everything else with social media, at a minimum, I'd recommend having a LinkedIn profile, because typically when someone Googles you, one of the first things that comes up is LinkedIn. And if your LinkedIn profile isn't updated, there's the perception that you're out of business.
Amen.
So, yeah, so make sure it's updated. That's a huge place to start.
And here's the other thing I want to add to that. If you start something, only start if you can consistently do it for forever, because people will see you, they start joining you, connecting with you, liking you, following you, all that stuff, and then all of a sudden it dies. It looks like you went out of business again. So whenever you start, be sure that you continue or hire somebody to continue it for you so that it looks like you're still alive and still going good and in business. I mean, it's amazing how you can look larger than life if you just consistently do something on a regular basis. It's funny. I was gone 2 weeks, literally not in the office for 2 weeks, and I and I didn't post as much on Facebook, and I've seen somebody face-to-face, and like, yeah, we haven't seen you on Facebook as much. So it's funny how they build that, they build that, man, where's Scott at? They do like, well, something's missing. So it's in that respect, when your friends, family, coworkers, past clients, and current clients start to get used to seeing your face, you don't want to let that face go away because they obviously will forget about you. So.
Absolutely. So
all right, Katie, thank you so much. A lot of good feedback. Jeffrey already posted an Instagram photo and did a bunch of hashtags in here, so and you were one of them, Katie Lance, so very good stuff there.
Thank you.
So that's cool. So I appreciate you being here. Appreciate your advice and all your wisdom, and look forward to maybe having you on class again someday.
Absolutely. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to post them in the group or on my page, and I'll definitely get in there and answer anything else that anybody has.
Sounds good. All right, guys, same place. Don't miss next week. We're going to have my partner in crime, Vicki Rice, going to show us how to create our own ads, our own flyers, our own brochures, Facebook headers, YouTube headers, Twitter, all that fun stuff. So we're going to show you how to do it with something you already have in your possession. It's really cool how powerful it is. So look forward to seeing you here same time, same place next week. And Robbie, appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you being here, hanging out with us, and we'll see you next week.
All right, sounds great. Thanks, guys.
Everybody,
Thanks,
take care.
everybody.
Bye-bye.